Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the buffed Stunfisk. This Pokemon was definitely on my list anyway to showcase, and now we finally have some time for this one. This Pokemon got a major buff, climbing up to I think rank 22 on PvPoke, thanks to the Thundershock buff. And here we're going to see one of those matchups where it's definitely already important to have the Thundershock buff, which is going to be a Germnaa. And the team that we're running here is kind of one of my favorite combinations. Currently, I really enjoy running the Say Swap of Primeape. Primeape is a ridiculously strong Say Swap. I love this Pokemon a lot. With the Rage Fist, it is super strong. And as you can see here, also Karate Chop still can chunk quite a bit. We are forced to use a shield against the opponent's Sand Slash, but as I use a Drill Run, I know that I can overfarm to basically 2 Rage Fist here as well, which is going to be great. If they use a shield, I can go for another one afterwards. They don't. But I can now get some damage against the Germnaa. We have a lot of lag here as well, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, this team is definitely a lot of fun. We have a lead that's going to be great against Flying-type Pokemon. We have a Say-Swap that's going to be able to bait out Flying-type Pokemon, but as one of the most common Flying-type Pokemon is Drifblim. Very difficult to say. We're going to have access to the move Rage Fist to do super effective damage, but also even against Pokemon like the Talonflame, we're going to still have some play. And of course, our Pokemon in the back, the Jumpluff, doesn't want to see those. That being said, I don't think I played this team perfect. This is the thing as well. I actually started off with, I think, a horrible run in the beginning. I think I went 0-3 for the first 3 battles with this team, but I was believing into the team, and I still went afterwards onto a 6-1 run with this one, which means a total of, I think, 6-4 with this one, and I still think that this team is really strong, because that's the thing as well. Not every single time the numbers are going to be the important thing for a team. I know that on paper this team looks amazing. I know on paper this team has a lot of thought behind it. But also, I know that I made most likely a few mistakes in the first earlier battles that I could avoid then for later on. And this is like the important thing that I always kind of want to tell you as well. If you have a team that you think is going to work and you might not really have the results in the beginning, maybe just stick to it and see how it's going to go. And that's the exact same thing that I did here. A lot of times, why are they running Charge Beam? We're not gonna talk about this one, but a lot of times I just kind of, play for like 3 battles or whatever and see if a team actually works or not, and it's not based on the results that I get, but basically on how the feeling is for the team. And I definitely think this team has a lot of play, a lot of potential. You just have to know a little bit of how to play this team directly, and that's something that you can mainly learn when you do more battles, of course, and that's exactly what happened to me. So didn't work out in the beginning, but I gave it a little bit of time, and it actually worked out really well afterwards with a 6-1 run afterwards. So yeah, definitely, again, something that I want to tell you as well. You kind of want to keep sticking with a team that you know that it should perform pretty well, even if you don't get the results in the beginning with it. And there are definitely some tricky matchups that you have to learn. For example, here, for Alligator, I make a bit of a mistake here. I don't know, like I go straight from the Mud Bomb. I guess it's the correct play, but I make a bit of a mistake afterwards here. Mud Bomb is going to not do enough damage, but you're going to guarantee that you get to the next move faster than the opponent if I wanted to. But I decided to go ahead and go for the Discharge here. I should went for another bait. I should most likely went for another bait here. I think that would have been the better play for me instead of going for the Discharge, because if I go for another bait and the opponent decides to use a shield, I would be fine. You see me undercharging here. It doesn't matter because the opponent uses a shield anyway. But I can only go for a Mud Bomb now. If I went for a Mud Bomb beforehand, I would have had a Discharge here, having a guaranteed KO against the opponent while outspeeding them. But as you can see, we're not going to be able to get the KO by a 1 HP in a dream, and that's kind of important to know as well for playing this Pokemon. And now we're going to be in a position in which I don't really like to be in. Usually, we're going to have our lead that's going to have super effective coverage against Clodsire, which should hopefully work out for us then, like in the long run as well. But our lead is kind of gone now, and so, like, while we still have some HP, the opponent is going to have some energy advantage. And what should I do? Like, should I go into my Primeape? That would have not really worked out for us either, and so they're going to be able to knock us out here. I'm going to try my best still to somehow win with my Primeape. And so I'm forced to go ahead and go for a close combat, hoping this would do enough damage against them. And funnily enough, it actually nearly did, and then would have depended on what they have in the back, and I could have maybe seen myself winning, but with 1 HP, the opponent going to survive here, and we can move on to the next opponent. It's going to be Auroras. This Pokemon is gonna be a core breaker for this team, and this is something that I also kind of feel like. This was one of the first battles that I had there as well, where I was like, cool, yes, this team is going to lose against Auroras. Who is running Auroras? Like, why do I even see it on my screen? That being said, I am going to be able to one-shot a Wigglytuff here, which is always kind of pleasant to see. But they're going to have a Drifblim here now as well, and I'm kind of running out of options. Like, Drifblim is going to chunk away a little bit of the health of us just from the fast move alone. And we have basically 2 Pokemon that have Ice-type coverage where our lead has to deal with it. And yeah, it is just not very common to see an Auroras in the Go Battle League, so if you lose against Spice that you don't really see a lot of times, I feel like it just doesn't really count as a loss for me. Like, yeah, cool, I lost against someone who plays some Spice, which I love to see, by the way. Play some Spice, it's fun. But is it really telling about the team? I don't really think so. And the same goes for the next opponent here. We have a Hypno. I did already a video as well about Hypno. Hypno, very cool Pokemon, I liked it a lot. But like, that's the first time I encountered this Pokemon all season. And I don't know, yeah, again, we're going to have a weakness against Confusion on our Primeape and Ice against our other 2 Pokemon. But is it really telling towards like what the team really can do? I am not too sure. Yes, of course, there are going to be teams that might have a bit more neutral play, which run then the Mandibus and whatever. But I don't know. Like, I've like, let me know in the comment section how you feel about those matchups. Do you feel like if you play and you lose against Pokemon like this, or like teams like this, like, do you really think your team is going to have like some issue with this? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's not really telling about the team itself. You're going to see the Tentacool. I decided to just go for the full farm down. I'm not even going to care about using a charge move here or anything like this. They go for Acid Spray. Great play from the opponent there as well again. I get a ton of energy. By the way, I don't know if I'm going to lose this matchup or not here. At this point, I'm just saying that I feel like it's very interesting to see like Pokemon like this against us. It's going to be the Marowak against us here. We have to see if a Roxas is going to be able to two-shot us or not. We're going to see here that there is going to be the Roxas coming through. It is going to be able to two-shot us. And so I expect the opponent to stop out, which they do here as well. We can farm on the Hypno, but we have to be a bit mindful, as we have to get some damage onto the opponent still. As you see, they're going to call the bait here with the Aerial Ace. Great play, you might think. It actually doesn't matter. We're actually going to be able to guarantee the victory here as well, because they still have to go for the Rock side. They don't have more energy than this. And we still have a charge move stored to the point where you could even go for a discharge here. Would have been funny. Missed opportunity for a bit of a meme, but we're still going to be able to win the battle. And so we have the Dugong here, and this is like more the ice type this team is prepared for, because again, we're going to have actually coverage for this Pokemon, not like Auroras. And so we're going to be able to go for a discharge here against the opponent's Dugong. This allows us to get the shield from them, and they won't try to debuff us the entire way through, which is totally okay. But at the end of the day, we're going to be able to outspeed them, regenerate energy faster than the opponent. They're going to catch the move here, I guess, kind of the Mud Bomb onto the Clodsire. And what we see here as well is we barely do any damage because of the debuff that we have on our Pokemon. And so what we do is we decide to swap out here, try to catch an Earthquake, which perfectly worked out not. And so we try to get another move here, which at least this time around worked out. And this move is actually very important because it should put the opponent into a range where I should be able to go ahead and go for the Mud Bomb and knock them out afterwards. But again, I'm actually not too sure about it yet. Are we going to be in the range there? We're going to have the Mud Bomb coming through here. This is going to allow us to get some solid damage in, and we're going to swap out here just to get the Dugong onto our Primeape. And I kind of need to keep my Primeape around. We have some energy advantage here. They're going to be locked in this matchup, and so I go straight for the Rage Fist, trying to boost myself. Can we go for the full farm down? It is going to be very, very close, and I'm just going to go for the Rage Fist instead. I either get the knockout here, or I'm going to get just the shield. I'm going to get the knockout. Now it depends on what they have in the back. I feel like the Clodsire we can even farm down, and now it just depends on what do they have there. It's going to be their own Machamp, and it's going to be a bit of an awkward one as they catch the move here. This is going to completely shift on how to play here, because the opponent still has a shield left. I'm forced to go for a Mud Bomb. But I'm actually kind of sad that I went in and like basically went not straight into my Stunfisk after the charge move there. Because now the opponent has enough energy to outspeed me here. They should have two moves at this point as well. But I can still get the Mud Bomb off. And it was a Stone Edge. And that is going to be a very good game. Moving on. Stunfisk against Charjabug. A very solid lead for us. We're going to be able to just stay in here. We're going to try our best to go for the Mud Bomb, but you know what you kind of want to have in this scenario. You kind of always want to overfarm. One thing for Stunfisk, which I knew beforehand as well, but also again kind of showcased to me here the entire way through as well. You kind of really like to have energy on this Pokemon for later on, not for the matchup that you might be currently in, but it is great to snipe opponents with this Pokemon because you have great coverage with Ground and Electric, yeah, covering a lot of different types like Rock, Steel, Fire, Flying, Water, every single type there as well. You're going to be able to just cover with this thing, and so you have a lot of potential to just basically finish up other player Pokemon afterwards as well, which is going to be really, really good for it. And so, in this case, we're going to be able to align ourselves, but we still don't have a ton of energy on our Pokemon. I know that the opponent's Charge Bug should have some energy as well still, but I kind of still want to keep a bit more energy on mine. And so you see me over farming here by quite a bit. And I'm going to try to go up to basically 100 energy as well, but I swap onto the Starmie. And here you see what I mean with keeping energy on this Pokemon. We're going to be able to now go for 2 discharges, which I didn't even remember, but it's going to be great, because now we're going to get bullshits on the opponent. And this is just because we kept the energy on our, Stunfisk there in order to use it for later on. And this is kind of the strategies that you kind of want to go if you are trying to get a little bit higher up into like leaderboards or whatever. You have to understand the Pokemon, you have to understand the best usage for them. And Stunfisk is one of those Pokemon where it's really important to keep energy for later on, because it is just very easy to use it on so many different kind of types. It has great offensive typing. And so, yeah, we can move on now to the next opponent. I was a bit worried about Ice Fang here, but luckily they're running Dragon Breath, which is way easier for us to deal with. We're gonna go up to a close combat, trying to force a shield from the opponent, which does work out quite well, and I can still guarantee to go for another charge move afterwards if I use a shield here. But funnily enough, they decided to go for the Icy Wind, using more energy, which I'm actually kinda happy about. Here, I should have mostly went for the close combat instead, doing a bit more damage, but also allowing the opponent to get less energy, which maybe comes in clutch for the opponent here. This maybe was a big mistake for me. We will find out very, very shortly. Excess coming through is going to allow them to, do some solid damage against us here. We let the Excel go through again. And again, we're gonna overfarm by quite a bit because I want the energy for later on. As I said before, this is very, very important for the Stunfisk. If you want to play this Pokemon, keep the energy. And you will see here that I even let this move go through, knowing that I still survive, expecting the opponent's Arctibex to come back in here. But I'm very close to another charge move, and I'm gonna swap out here now into the Jumpluff. And I could see maybe that I make some mistakes here very late on as well. I know they got interrupted in the middle of the battle, so I have to see if there's some kind of changes that I would do in terms of the battle. I overfarmed by quite a bit. I could have mostly had already an energy ball thrown, which might have helped us out later on as well, especially in terms of how much energy I have, because I'm now over 100, and that I guess is actually a very, very big mistake for me. As you're gonna see as well, I could have very likely went to another energy ball instead of just going for the aerial ace here. This puts them into the range for my other Pokemon. I should have just swapped out basically straight away. This was a mistake by me most likely. They're gonna go actually and swap out into that Charger Bug again, and even this charge move, if I let the move go through, I most likely would have been fine, as I would have been able to farm them down. But now they get some energy, enough to get to a rock side, and I'm one fast move away now, I think. I'm one fast move away, I think, from getting to the aerial ace. And so, as you see there as well, if I just went for the energy ball a bit earlier, I would have won this battle. And this is exactly what I kind of want to tell you about as well here. It is a lot of times actually your own mistakes, not the team. And it's here kind of a perfect showcase on how there are mistakes that I do, which maybe comes because I wasn't fully focused or whatever, that at the end of the day impact the battle result, which you usually don't actually see when you do battles. And this is exactly what I kind of feel like as well helps you the most, is to actually rewatch your own losses. Every single time when someone asks me, oh, can you give me some tips on how to improve my own gameplay, it is the first thing that I say. It is the best way of trying to figure out on how to get better. If you understand the meta, like this is the first thing that you have to know, like you have to understand the game itself, like on terms of how much energy generation is there and how many fast moves the opponent has, how many fast moves we have, what you need to do in terms of winning battles. If you have this base knowledge, rewatching your gameplay is the easiest way and the best way of learning on how to improve in certain matchups. And this is also always kind of the case. Every single time you have a different Pokemon, for example, here if I went for an aerial ace, I maybe had a better time against this opponent as well, for example. You're going to, like every single time you use a new Pokemon that you don't really know too well, you're always going to have basically the option there where it's going to be better for you to just go ahead and rewatch the gameplay and see on where are my mistakes and how to win those. And again, I feel like here, if I had the aerial ace off against the opponent's Morpeko even, I would have either got the shield from the opponent, which would have been great, or I would have been able to get a lot of damage into them. Even though it's a resisted move there, it's still going to hit quite hard. As you can see, I'm going to be able to go for the farm down here, but the opponent has quite some energy still left, and I don't know, maybe I still would have had a chance here in this battle. And that's something that is just very important to know. How to win is mainly down to how you play throughout the battle, and I can guarantee you, for most players here that are watching this video, the people that complain, oh, I'm only gonna be stuck at like this certain rank, it is most of the times a mistake that you do during your battles and not the team. The team is the least important thing, needy. In a lot of cases, it can help, of course, but I would really recommend you just rewatch your battles. Here we had a great lead. We had the Bibarel. And of course, Bibarel is not something I want to have against my Jumpluff. You know what I also don't want to have against my Jumpluff? An Ice Punch variant of Primeape. I did not expect this. Very well played by them. But here's one cool thing here for us at least. Rage Twist doesn't knock us out. So, funnily enough, if they actually went for the Rage Twist first and then went for the Ice Punch, they would have been able to knock me out here. But like this, I was able to knock them out. Again, something maybe to note for someone who wants to run a Primeape, a normal Primeape Saiyasaur with Ice Punch and the move Rage Twist against the Shadow variant of Jumpluff or the normal Jumpluff. Go for a Rage Twist first and then surprise him with an Ice Punch. That's the thing, like this is literally as easy as this. You kinda need to have like those kind of examples that you can know, okay, I have to play a certain way in order to win. And this is one of the best examples for this kind of stuff as well again here. We have some lag, which of course is a bit annoying. Corsa is going to go for the Nightshade here. We're going to try our best to go for our own charge move as well. This is going to allow us to get the shield. We're going to swap out of here. It's going to be the Stunfisk trying its best. And we're going to see here the opponent is going to go ahead, go for the Nightshade. And we try to go for a big Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is more energy efficient than the Discharge. It is not more damage though. And here maybe the Discharge will have been better because Discharge does 5 more damage, I think. I think it does. Maybe I'm wrong, actually. I'm not sure anymore at this point. But yeah, as you're gonna see here, we're gonna be able to still go for Mud Bomb. Something I would mostly check afterwards. But we're gonna see the swap out here. We're gonna be able to get 2 Karate Chops in and we win the battle. And that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like and I will see you then. Bye bye.